Hello, we are the anime reviewers. I'm Matt.
I'm Zach, and today we are talking about a relatively new anime called Jujutsu Kaisen. It is a manga series written and illustrated by Gigi Akutami. It's animated by Studio Mappa, directed by Sungu Park, and written by Hiroshi Seko. So, initial thoughts, because we've both literally just seen the first episode right now. This is not one either of us have pre-watched ahead of time. We just watched it, and so
yeah, it was really good. And like I just like the art style was great. The dialogue was it's very they're not treading through new waters. There's nothing there's not too much original about this show. There's unique things, but like overall it's not really original. But it's still good in that familiarity. It's kind of like a new Iron Man story. It's just like it reminds me a lot of like Bleach and all the like even that like Demon City, that really old anime movie where they're like supernatural forces and crazy stuff. Violence, at least for so far, even though I assume this anime may get more violent because it looks like they get pretty bloody and stuff. It's not like gratuitous. Like nobody gets covered in blood. Nobody's like exploding with blood or anything like their eyes popped out or anything of that nature. At least yet. Yeah. It looks like you could go there, which I'm actually kind of excited for. But either way, like even if they stay to this kind of this level where it's just light spurts, I'd still definitely be able to enjoy it, and the story's good, and the characters are interesting, and it has its humor. Yeah, and they're likable.
Oh yeah, definitely. I gotta agree with you on the animation. I love the animation in this one. It takes place around a high schooler called Yuji Itadori. And it does what a lot of sort of action-y anime do, which is like during the mellow times you got a lot of sharp lines, like things are pretty well defined, but when the action scenes come, there's a lot more fluidity to everything. There's some more exaggerated motions, and some of that's due to like using like camera tricks and stuff and angles, but it's really, really well done in my opinion. I really enjoyed the action scenes. Like there's definitely series I've seen out there that try to do this type of style, and I'm like, okay. This one when the action kicks off, I was like, oh, this is good. This is so much good. I also really enjoyed the music, the intro song. I enjoyed it. Any notable moments?
There was several actually. Like first and foremost, it would be like one of the most memorable moments to me was just the introduction to the main character's superpower, like to kind of super athletic powers that are like seem to be like a trope in anime where they're not necessarily. So they're just superhuman, not like they can shoot laser beams out of their eyes, at least yet. When he can just like jump around, and his teacher they're trying to close down the occult club that they're a member of, that he's a member of.
The teacher's not trying to, it's the student council.
Oh yeah, the student council is I wonder if Japanese schools are like that, where their student council actually has the kind of power to get rid of clubs, because in my schools would never happen like that.
Yeah, that's actually student council. It's not that I don't think that they can shut down the clubs. I think that they have the authority to proposition that the club gets shut down. If that like they have the ability to go, hey, this club doesn't have enough members. It's fun. It's it's not me. Like whatever funding it has, it's not using that funding, or it's basically it's a way to like.
It's not justifying its use of whatever resources.
Yeah, it's also to teach certain students like business acumen in a certain way and things like that.
Oh, okay.
So that isn't exactly uncommon. I don't know how common it is anymore, but I know that used to not be uncommon.
But anyways, that the student council president like tries to shut down their club, and then they prove that they like are doing all the qualifications. And he says there's only 2 members, not 3. He signed up. The main character signed up for. Track and field, and then the track and field coach comes in and admits that he like wrote him like changed what he signed up for and wants him on the team, and then
I gotta say I kind of love the student president council's
he just keeps reacting away.
He keeps shrinking into the background, and he's like, because they're talking about doing a fair fight to get Yuji into track and field, and you just see him in the background, and there's a little line that goes, "Is changing a student's sign up sheet really fair and square?" And I'm just like, that's a great little line, because because as they've been progressively proving that that they have been meeting the qualifications, like his bluster in the you're getting shut down sort of started going away, and now it's just shriveled and broken.
Yeah, and then the teacher just steals all the thunder, wanting him to be on the track field team. Because as you come to find out, because they have the contest, and like they go to do the shot put, and the coach does the world record throw of.
He used to be. He's the world record holder. I think it said 18.8 meters. For the contest, I believe he threw 14 meters.
He still does it. It's
still a ridiculous. Like
I would assume. I don't know anything about shot put, but then the main character is like, I can throw it any way I want. He's baseball throw. Those things are heavy. He baseball throws the thing. Well, showing like why he would want him in his track and field team. He just baseball throws, and then the teacher's just shocked, and they're taking pictures and like all the students are taking pictures and selfies as well. He's like sitting there just broken spirited, and the other guy walks away with his friends, and that's the end of like the scene. That scene is very memorable just because of like how it introduces you to the character very well and like his friends. Then the other memorable scene is your introduction to what I assume is going to be the other main character.
Megumi Fushiguro.
Yeah, where he comes in and he's just walking to school because she was kind of wondering who he is, and he's very mysterious in his intro, but it's not like he's not like some cliched dark character. He's just someone who's clearly been through some stuff, and and he sees like this weird monster thing just like crawling around, and then he talks about there being a curse.
So his intro is very sort of a little cliche for the mysterious character, I would say.
It's treading in the...
Oh yeah, it definitely doesn't. I also like the fact that like the entire reason he's at the school is he works for some organization that hunts down cursed objects, and he's looking for an object called the Sukuna finger, which he went to where he was told it was being stored. And it's not there, and he thinks it's at the school somewhere. So that's the entire reason he's there, and he's like he's apparently can sense it to some degree, and he admits to the fact that like it's this uber powerful, like this super powerful like cursed object, which is why he can't be like, oh, it's precisely right there. It's because it's so powerful, it's radiating such an aura that he's just like, it's vaguely here, which I think is kind of interesting in its own right, like. Super powerful things are difficult to track specifically because they have such an aura. For me, the other memorable, like the next memorable scene for me after those was so the main character, Yuji's grandfather, is in the hospital and he ends up dying, and Yuji's going through the paperwork and talking about it to a nurse, and he mentioned something that I feel is. So I unfortunately, like personally, I haven't gone through an experience like that, like watching a family member die in a bed, in a hospital bed. But it felt like very genuine in the fact that he's like, the nurse asked him, "Are you okay?" And he's like, "I don't know. It hasn't hit me yet. It doesn't feel real." And I think that's a very interesting way of doing that scene. Because a lot of times in scenes where death is there, the people just immediately break down crying, and you get the stereotypical like anime like tears and snot bubbles, and that is also a genuine reaction in its own right. I'm not saying it's not, but I also like seeing the other aspect of the other side of that coin, where it's he almost comes across a little cold, but it's not because he doesn't like it's not real. It's just the weight of what happened just hasn't clicked for him. He's disassociating from the situation. And I think that's a interesting take on that, like that type of scene.
what was memorable? Like what was memorable for me about that specific scene was how it was more character development.
Yeah.
Of him, of where he came from, because his grandfather is clearly someone very close to him, and he was still encouraging him to go to his occult club, throughout until he actually passes away. They would have a little snippet, or they would have the part before where he tells him, make sure you go to your club, don't bother to come see me.
Yeah.
And then when he finally does see him before he passes away, he's like, the club ends at 5. I'm visiting you in 3 times.
Yeah.
And it just shows where he comes from so well, and really brings you into actually kind of empathizing.
Yeah, definitely.
Which that's something that's very impressive, and like I said, that's just shredding through. Nothing feels really truly original, just unique.
Yeah, definitely. I think the next memorable scene for me, at least, is when they is after Yuji and Megumi officially meet when they're at the school. There's a brief scene where they're talking and they're sort of explaining the cursed object, and that feels more story development-y stuff to me. The next memorable scene is back at the school, because Megumi tells Yuji that the cursed object he had found is dangerous, and if his friends in the occult club break the seal, they'll die. So they're running to the school, and Megumi tells Yuji to stay back because the seal is broken, and you can they got this purple aura around the school of just looks almost like purpley flames or skulls kind of.
Yeah.
It's to represent the aura of death.
Yeah.
And
I think purple's associated with curses.
Curses as well, yeah.
In Japanese culture, I think.
I've seen it in a lot of occult animes where they use the purple color for it. I'm not sure the significance behind it personally, but if any of you know, please let us know.
Yeah.
I'd love to learn about it. But they have a brief snippet going back and forth where Megumi's telling Yuji to stay. And Yuji does stay for a moment, and I kind of like that as the next powerful scene because he's reflecting on why he's staying. Why is he afraid? Why is he terrified? Why does he feel he needs to stop? Because he's told his friends were going to die, and he just watched his grandfather die, and he's having this conflict of what's so different about the two.
Yeah, and then he even asks himself, am I afraid to die?
Yeah. And his grandfather gave him final parting words, which is to save those around you, even if it's only ever one person, save who you can. And that's a powerful motivator for him because that's what gets him to go into you know what? No, I'm gonna go do something. And he, and the next scene you see, the next time you see him, he's bursting through the 4th floor window to punch a demon.
Yeah.
Or sorry, it's not a demon. It's technically they refer to it as a curse.
Yeah.
But he outright
he just kicks it in the face or something, and rips his friends out of its hand. Which
he mouth things, which
I'm sure to a lot of people is really creepy, and I think it's absolutely awesome. But it's just but it's instead of a mouth, teeth, they're hands, and it's really cool.
Well, it had a lot of mouths. It also had a lot of hands that were pulling the bodies.
I thought the lips were hands.
No.
Oh, okay. I guess the thing I was imagining that was a lot more terrifying.
This is a little bit more creepy. And then just the rest of that scene, the rest of that whole fight scene is just stellar for me.
Oh yeah, and that's where you really get to see the first taste of how they, even though you get a little with that contest where you get to see how they're gonna animate the action scenes, which it reminds me a lot of the first season of One Punch Man.
Yeah,
where it's very fluid and there's a lot of frames and they're not reusing a lot of the frames, and it looks very, very good.
Yeah, it looks outstanding.
And it says that again, it has that typical anime fights where they're able to do beyond what a normal person would be able to do athletically and acrobatically.
Which I like the fact that for this series they showed off that he was already at bare minimum he's above average in physical capabilities.
Yeah, and then,
so it's not he's just a normal school kid who all of a sudden comes across a demon or a monster or whatever, and all of a sudden has his magic power or superhuman strength kind of thing that they never reference. Yeah. I like the fact that they set a framework for it instead of just popping it out of nowhere.
Yeah. Like, he just suddenly finds the courage to jump through a 4-story window.
Yeah, that one's...
I just like him running like a cartoon character when he's like, oh, he's going too fast. And then when they're running back, he's not running like a cartoon character, even though his friends are about to die. He's keeping pace
with the other guy.
When he can run like the Tasmanian Devil or something.
Yeah, no, there's a brief comment where he's like, I heard he ran 50 meters in 3 seconds.
Yeah.
And Megumi overhears this, and he gets the shocked anime face up.
I guess Sonic the Hedgehog would be a better way to describe how they showed him do it fast.
Yeah, that was more Sonic than tennis, but yeah.
And that's like leads to probably one of the most memorable scenes for both of us. That was spoiled by the description on Crunchyroll.
Yeah, unfortunately, the description is spoiled, but I'm okay with it because it all it spoils is what happened at the end of the first episode.
Yeah.
That's it.
But that's the sad thing. I'm looking for this cursed object, and that's the thing that he's going to eat.
Yeah. Yeah, because the description mentions that he eats the cursed finger.
Yeah, that's the part where he does the demon's about to get the finger, because he's been like dodging it and playing keep away with it, but he's fighting like a solo game of keep away.
Yeah.
And then he's about to get pulled in and then he decides to eat the finger.
Well, he eats it because Megumi tells him that the only thing that can kill a curse is stronger curse powers.
Yeah.
And Yuji has no curse powers. He's physically stronger than humans, or he's physically stronger than the average person. But in regards to being able to, because Megumi can summon Shikigami, he summons I believe he calls them the demon dogs, which is like a black and white wolf. He also makes reference to Nue. So he has some sort of cursed power on his own. Like Megumi has some sort of cursed power. What that is, how he got it, we don't know yet. But he does mention the fact that like the only way to destroy a curse is with cursed power, which is it's not he just let me eat this because for reasons. It's let me eat this because this will give me cursed power to destroy this curse that's trying to kill my friends.
Well, yeah, but but the main reason he does eat it is because he's about to be consumed by the thing. He's in the hands by the mouth that are pulling him in, and that's what ultimately forces him to do it. Because he didn't really consider it until he was like, I'm trying to keep this away from it, and he's about to, and I need to stop it, and I'm screwed because I'm going to be eaten by it, so I'm just gonna
it's a ditch effort kind of thing.
And then, of course, he turns into a really
he gets the demonic powers, because of course.
And again, not original, but it's a unique look that I really liked. He's got 4 eyes. He's got 2 sets of eyes, he's got his eyes in his normal place, and then it's like right below to the side, 2 other eyes. And then he gets like long pointy fingernails, like Lust or the Wicked City Woman. Yeah, like just that cliche. But I got the claws, and he's got like face paint and at first I was kind of disappointed. I'm like, oh, face paint and claws. That's really all he's gonna get. Not cool wings, armor, tail, fireballs, or anything. Like he just.
He might. We don't know what's gonna happen. Yeah.
And this is supposed to be like a really scary demon thing, and it like possesses him, and it's like lusting that it's gonna get to eat all these people.
And it's gonna be like a buffet and a murder spree among women and children, and he's like so happy the era that he is currently in. The demon is so happy that he's awake right now.
And then the one dude is terrified. Well, not terrified, but he's very concerned about this, like, powerful demon.
Oh, no, Megumi's terrified.
Okay, Megumi is terrified.
Because what happened to Yuji is a 1 in a million chance. Because if a human eats a cursed object that's classified as like a special, it's called, they refer to it as special grade, it's essentially poison. They'll die from it. But he says that there's a 1 in a, I think it's like 1 in a million chance. And, of course, it's anime. I love it. But it's the trope. Yuji has the 1 in a million chance. Where it's
it's that classic Chosen one.
Yeah, it's a classic Chosen thing. Which I have nothing against, don't get me wrong.
Again, not original, but
Yeah.
I haven't seen any other ones where you eat a finger.
Yeah, that is true. I haven't seen where you eat a finger to gain power.
If you happen to know of any other ones,
let us know.
Anything where someone's eating a finger, I'll definitely give that a look.
but he gets the 1 in a million chance where he gets where it's demon possession, which is a big deal because it's a sacred a sacred grade curse. So it's supposed to be like, so he's actually terrified that it happened. But anyway, so the possession, the whole like after the demon's going on this tirade about all the things he wants to do and how happy he is, he's about to leap off the building. It looks like, or like go to step off and just do that, like, you know, let me step off, fall to the ground, and continue on my day, or something like that.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, his hand comes up to his chin, and he starts walking backwards.
And then he said,
Which caught me off guard at first, to be honest. I'm like, what is... Did he realize that someone was there? And he's like, let me go kill this person type thing? And then he says, I forget his exact wording, unfortunately, but he's like, what are you doing? How can you still be moving, or something like that? And they do a pitch shift. I don't know if they do a voice change so that you have a difference between Yuji's voice and the curse's voice. So they do make sure that there is a difference there. And all of a sudden you hear Yuji say, "Of course I can move. It's my body."
Yeah, and how casually he says it. It made me laugh.
It made me laugh so hard.
Because I think it's because of the juxtaposition of tone of how it went from like, I'm gonna murder all these women and children and people that all gathered here, and the one dude's terrified, and then the dude's just like, nope, this is my body.
Yeah.
And how it was like he was indifferent to the fact. And yeah, he was ultimate. That was actually a memorable scene I didn't even forget to mention earlier on when he first tells him about the curse in the finger.
Oh, yeah.
He was indifferent to the fact that it was going to cause all these problems.
Yeah, he didn't care until someone was going to die.
That he cared about.
Yeah, he's like, oh, it's a curse. It draws curses. Okay, what does that mean? Like, okay.
And
my friends are going to die? Okay, let's be concerned now.
And even then, he was still very distant from it.
Yeah.
And it's interesting. That was that was the last of the most definitely the most memorable things, but that's kind of like the whole episode.
It's kind of the whole episode is definitely memorable.
Yeah.
But those are I think those are the only like really standout talking ones, because the rest is just like characters talking kind of stuff. It's, you know, we also don't want to spoil the plot details all that much and some of the discussions that happen. But what are your final thoughts on this? Yeah.
Yeah, the final thoughts about I would definitely recommend it. I wanted to keep watching it. We didn't have to film it.
Oh yeah.
I would totally kept watching it right away. Like
absolutely. I'm the same way. I definitely recommend this. I'm definitely gonna, like, once we're done filming this and everything, like, I'm absolutely gonna go watch the next episode.
And the teaser for the next episode, which I'm not gonna spoil, but with that made me want it more. And when they have a teaser like that, I would usually I'm kind of like, don't ruin the next episode. And it didn't ruin it. Just told me some cool stuff that was gonna happen.
It didn't even tell you anything. It just showed images.
Oh yeah,
there were no words. It was just images of characters that you're gonna hopefully you see in the next episode.
But they also showed something going on that's what made me want to watch it.
Yeah,
what they showed happens in the next episode.
Yeah, I'm so excited for it.
Yeah.
So I think that's it for us. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Thanks for watching.
Have a good one.
Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
And hit that bell icon for notifications. Also follow us on Twitter and Facebook. Links in the description down below.